Everybody's here?
That ain't good.
Well, everybody's here.
Well, yeah, it is. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, three of the four things I don't have no choice.
30, the chair recognizes a quorum. We will call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone to our December 11th Planning Commission meeting. If you please stand, we'll say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on our agenda is approval of minutes. From November 13th, did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
I read the minutes, I have them approved as sent.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted. Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of our agenda tonight. Any corrections or additions to our agenda? If not, I'll call for a motion.
Second.
Approved. Who seconded? Destin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Old business. Laura, would you want to talk about this? Do we need a motion or?
Yeah, this is an item that was continued from last month, and there's no final decision yet from the commissioner, so I'm just requesting another 30-day extension. Hopefully, we'll know something by then. So, but yes, if you would please motion to continue it, that'd be great.
Okay. So do we have a motion to continue this to our next meeting?
I make a motion to continue preliminary plat MAP 23-01 to the January meeting.
Do we have a second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, it's continued till January 8th meeting. We will move on to new business. Public hearing for MIP 2313. Eric Richards, on behalf of BRL Properties LLC, is requesting approval for a 5-lot minor plat for residential use. The property is generally located at 8503 West Louisville Road in Ashland Township. Property is zoned ag. Mr. Richards, are you here? Please state your name and your address for us, please.
Eric Richards, 4862 Kilda Drive, Greenwood, Indiana, 46142. We are requesting a minor lot subdivision for property owned by BRL Properties. This property is located at Louisville Road and Letterman Road. There'll be 1 lot to the east on Louisville Road and 3 lots to the south on Letterman Road. The owner desires to keep all the tillable land to raise corn and soybeans on and sell off the non-tillable land to potential owners that will find the non-tillable land more useful to their needs or to have the opportunity to enjoy rural living. Owning non-tillable land is not the goal of the current owner and the next generation of owners. The property be split into 4 lots, 4.84 acres on the northeast side of the farm and 3 lots on the south side of the farm. 3 lots on the south side of the farm consist of 9 acres, 7.6 acres, and 7.59 acres. There will be a remaining 44.3 acres left of tillable land on the parcel. The completed survey and sketch are included in your application packet, surveyed by Shepherd Surveying. All lots will require a septic system and have been approved by Staley Soil Service, Inc. All soil analysis have been received and approved by the Morgan County Department of Health. The lots on Letterman Road will be able to have rural water provided, and the lots on Louisville Road will require a well. These 4 lots very much fit the surrounding the surroundings of the area. You have any questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have three people signed up for opposition. Ronald Guy. You like to come talk?
I guess I'm concerned about the water table. You said there's gonna be, what, 3 lots gonna have to be on well, or is that correct? Or is it 2, or? 3 lots on well?
3 lots. Only one lot? The rest are gonna be on city water?
I had a neighbor get moved in behind me on an abandoned house, and once they got their well up and running, my well went dry. So the water table's draining, I mean, as we speak with them using it, and we put more people on that same aquifer, and the water's already bad out there. It's forcing everybody to have to go to rural water. It cost me $8,000 to put water on my property, just for my house. If I want to run something else, I'm gonna be stuck to using, rural water, period, which tastes like chlorine, smells awful, I don't like it. Also, then that ground that they're gonna build on Letterman Lane, or Letterman Road, which is what I live on, the woods is swampy, it's wet ground, so where's all that water gonna go? I mean, they're gonna put in storm drains, is it gonna be turned into a major construction site, or is it gonna be a normal building lot? Because I've been through them woods before. I've hunted it, mushroom hunted it, deer hunt. I've known the ground for a long time, and it's wet. That's probably why, Robert Lee started tearing the woods out to expand the field to begin with when he first owned the property, and then he stopped. It's probably because it's too wet. So if it's too wet for farming, what are they gonna do with the building lots? Guess that's all I got for that, but.
Any
Thank you.
questions? Any questions?
How far would any well on that property be from your property?
I'm sorry, sir.
How far would any well on the property that we're talking about be from your property?
The closest property line is probably 150 to 200 feet catty corner across the road.
Do you have a good well?
I do not where my house sits at, but I'm getting ready to build a barn, I wouldn't mind, I would like to get my well fixed, but at the time, they said that's all I could do. So, not only me, but I got other friends and people who live out there that their stuff's on the well also, so, it's not only me being affected by it, but.
I've not heard of water problems in Ashland Township. I'm certainly sure there could be, but I haven't heard of any. I've got family there.
Yeah,
I was just curious. Thank you.
yep, thank you.
Any other questions? No?
I think. Zach?
Jack Quillage?
Close?
Yeah, I'm Zach Quilich. I live across the street from where they're doing this. And I don't know if there's anything I can really say to stop it from happening, which I don't really, it's his property, But is there any way we could put some kind of hold on the remaining land where it can't be split up later? The tillable land and remain ag for some time? because we moved out, we worked our way up to the country to get away from a ton of neighbors. I know that's my own problem. We did ask people before we moved in if we had to worry about this happening, and they were like, this guy really doesn't need money. He's not gonna sell off his property. And it's just scary because we weren't expecting that to happen. But we had a little meeting with people around the area yesterday. Not that many people showed up, but we were also wondering if we could say anything about limiting it to one dwelling on each plot. I don't know if that's something we can do. And then we were also thinking about the water table. We're actually on the city water, so it's not a big deal for us, but I know both my neighbors have well water, and I can't really speak for them, but I know some people down the street, 10 minutes down the road, theirs dries up all the time. So it's kind of, they're on baseline, so it's not close to this, but it should be kind of something we have to think about, you know, maybe it would dry up for some of the people around there. But the main worry is, like, I guess it just happened pretty close to his house, where somebody just started selling stuff off, and then we're just getting these little plots of land with trailers put on it, and it just, I feel like that's gonna drive housing prices down if we start, like, a lot of people were worried about like a mobile home getting put in, or not mobile, like trailer park being put in, which we're hopefully, if we say only one dwelling on the per plot, it wouldn't happen, but, sorry, I'm a little nervous, I've never done this before.
It would be only one residence or structure per lot is all they're allowed,
Okay.
so.
And then we were also worried about the drainage, because they're saying if we start putting stuff in over there and it's swampy over there, then that water's gonna come across the road and mess up our drainage. And they've already, it was before we moved in there, we've only been there 2 years, but I guess they had already dug out those drainage on the opposite side of the road, and it killed off a lot of the trees over there. So we're like, if that happens, are we gonna have more issues with that happening? Can I look at my notes real quick? There was one other thing, I think. And one thing we were thinking was this already pre-divided to sell to somebody? Like, is there like a builder that is already gonna develop this, or it's just gonna be individual sale? Like-
That's what we'll have to ask
Okay,
the engineer on that question. He
Okay,
can
'cause-
answer that on his rebuttal.
all right. And we were worried, like, if they're gonna put in a division like that, is there gonna be a HOA? And like, who's gonna be responsible for like maintenance on the road, for like, the more traffic and like snow cleanup and stuff like that?
Okay.
But I think that's it.
Any questions? No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Does your wife like to speak, or?
Still on it, on his well. He's a little punk of mine. His has been
When we moved into the house, they said
The
that
mic.
the water, oh, sorry. When we moved into the house, they said that the well that was there had dried up. So I just wanted to add that, because I know you said that you hadn't really heard anything about it. We found that out after we bought it, and it wasn't a big deal, you know, because we have already had city water, but I just wanted to make sure that that was noted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all that we have in opposition. Mr. Richards, would you like a rebuttal?
Touch on the wells and the water supply. Of course, 3 lots will have the rural water on them, 1 lot left for the wells. We don't know the age and how well the neighbors' wells are maintained, primarily the age. We don't know if they're good wells, bad wells, how deep they are and such. So that is something that it's hard for me to address how good the water is or isn't there. The drainage on the 3 lots on Letterman Road, there is a fall on the east end of the property, and the fall was good enough, there was enough fall there that was good enough to qualify for septic tanks. Mr. Staley that did the soil survey, he had to He had to walk the whole property to make sure that when a septic tank is installed, it has a perimeter drain on it. And that perimeter drain, not only for the septic tank in the house, has to be able to shoot down so far, how many ever feet. Anyway, the gully in the back on the east side of the property is deep enough to drain the water. I also like to address the fact about population. If the remaining 40 so acres, for one thing, the owner does not desire to sell the 40 acres. But if it was, there's way more rules and regulations to pass to have more than one house put on a parcel. So the community will again have the opportunity to oppose any more thicker housing density. Is there any questions for me?
Any questions? No? Good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. This is 5 splits. They're allowed one more after this? Okay, so they're at their 6 total. So any further development would be considered a major subdivision? And they'd have to come back in front of us as a major subdivision? Okay. Which lot's the one with the well? What's up on Louisville Road then? Oh, okay. So the well's up on Louisville Road instead of down on Letterman. So, okay. All right, this closes our public portion of the hearing. Any discussion?
Was the right-of-way still an issue? Or has that been addressed with them?
The surveyor is going to modify the plat, so this would be contingent on that being corrected.
Has Louisville got a larger right-of-way than Letterman, or are they the same?
Larger.
Louisville will be a collector, correct?
East west.
Okay, I thought Louisville may be a collector, that's what I thought. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a motion. Pardon me? Now, we already closed the public portion of it. There's only 5?
There's 5 technical lots, but there's 1 remnant left. That's the
There's 4 lots and then the parent tract. So 5.
Correct.
I only see 5.
Yeah. Yep.
So then would they be allowed one more? They still got, it'd be a minor plat for one more, but yeah, they still have to come in front of the board. Okay. So they're only splitting 5 now, but if they split one more time, they'd have to come in front of the board for another plat. So. Well is, like I said, it's up on Letterman Road, so. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a motion.
On Louisville Road.
Louisville, excuse me, Louisville Road. I apologize, I got my roads. I grew up out there, you think I'd remember that? No. I'll call for a motion.
Motion to approve the minor plat, MIP 23-13, subject to the corrections with the dedicated right-of-way.
Have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Too many papers rolling around there. Look at me.
So the next one is Holloway Engineering for Marvin, Melvin, and Robin Bingham.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We will go to our next item on the agenda is a public hearing for vacate and replat RP 2308 Holloway Engineering on behalf of Marvin and Robin Bigham. Is
Thank you.
seeking to,
I'm John Larison from Holloway Engineering. I'm here on behalf of, I'm sorry, did I?
I'm not
did I-
finished.
I'm sorry.
I'm about halfway through my statement.
I'm pushing to get you through here.
Yeah, they're seeking to vacate and replat Lot 4 in Hunt Minor Plat. The property is located at 11323 North Ruth Lane in Madison Township. The property is zoned R1, 13 acres, and Ag for 2 acres. Mr. Larison?
Thank you,
Hold
Mr.
on one
Brock.
sec, hold on one second. I need to recuse myself. Okay. I'm an adjacent property owner, so.
Step outside.
Okay,
John?
thank you very much. We do have an unusual situation with this lot. Again, I'm here with Mel and Robin Bigham, the owners of Lot 4. The lot is 15.3 acres in size. Somehow it did become zoned 2 different categories. I'm not sure. Maybe Laura can help us with that after I'm finished. But tonight, we're only here to cut 2.1 acres off of the north end of that lot. Mr. Bigham has reached an agreement for the sale of that 2.1 acres along with the barn on it to the north adjoiner, Mr. Curtis, who I believe is also here. I have given you an aerial photo. The outlined lot in blue is the entirety of Mr. Bigham's property, and that part off the north end with the X is the rectangular piece that he wants to sell to Curtis. Okay, Curtis is the owner of that 22 acres lying north of the subject property, and it is marked with Curtis's name for you. And what we're going to do in order to meet your ordinances, we're going to combine that 2.1 acres with meets and bounds legal description. And Mr. Curtis, after he purchases that lot from Mr. Bigham, he'll turn around and deed that 22 plus the 2.1 to himself, and that will effectively combine those parcels. Okay, so again, we're not here to create a building parcel. We're here to take the north end off of lot number 4. It's going to be sold to Curtis, and it will be integrated into his property by legal description. No new homes, no new building sites. And with that, I'll ask you if you have any questions for me.
We vacate this, and then you're writing a brand-new description for the overall, for the north. Is this piece the R1 piece that we're cutting off of?
The Lot 4 revised is the R1 piece. The 2.1 that's being sold is the ag piece. I'll write a legal description for the 2.1, and then I'll write a second legal description that combines it with Mr. Curtis's 22 acres.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Larison?
How is this accessed? Off of what road?
It is accessed off of Ruth Lane. They have an easement
Is
across.
that a county road?
No, it's private. And it is currently accessed by that same road.
Yeah, Ruth goes out to Spring Lake Road, is that what it is?
It goes up simply, I believe, to the south line of Curtis. You have easement across the entire Ruth Lane, and it stops.
But Ruth Lane itself goes out to Spring Lake, right?
Comes off of Spring Lake,
Yeah, Spring Lake, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Does there need to be a road maintenance agreement on this?
There is an existing maintenance agreement as part of the subdivision.
But is it applicable to this piece of ground?
I suppose that he might agree to participate. Would you agree to participate in the maintenance of Ruth Lane? So I think, though, their question is, would you be willing to join in a maintenance agreement with the other owners of land in the subdivision?
Yeah, whatever is in place
Yeah.
currently, yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, that's.
And I'll be happy to add that to our dedication prior to signatures.
Is it, now, I'm not being mean to you because I happen to like you, but is this gonna make more work for a surveyor to ensure that they can get to this property should anything else transpire?
No, we've already been through that exercise. He does have legal rights across the entirety of Ruth Lane and the access easement that actually crosses that 2.1 acre part of Mel's that he's about to purchase. So, yes, we've already crossed that bridge, and he does have legal rights.
So it doesn't come through the subdivision up the other side of this, or
No, it does
off of
not.
Paddock Road?
It doesn't come through anybody's property other than Ruth Lane. That's his only access. They may very well have other accesses adjacent to them that are in question, but we're not involved with that.
Well, I'm just thinking of Spring Lake.
So really what we're doing is just taking a piece off of Lot 4, a non-buildable piece, and adding to a larger piece.
That's right, an adjoiner,
And there's,
yes.
and once that's combined, there will still only be one buildable site.
That's right. We're combining them by legal so that we're not out of compliance with the ordinance.
Okay,
So he currently accesses his property from Ruth Lane. That won't change.
That will not change.
Happy now.
You okay, Bill? Okay.
Our roads yesterday, and there's speed bumps back through there. Who maintains those speed bumps?
It's private. The group of owners maintain the roadway.
So your man already pays maintenance on that road too?
Yes,
Developer?
Mr. Bigham certainly does. Helps to maintain the roadway. He also owns other land in the subdivision as well. This isn't his only lot. So yes, he's a big part of the maintenance group.
There, and I think one or two, or maybe three sets of speed bumps back through there that you find in the road.
Steve's a good boy. He just,
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you, John. Mr. Bingham, you like to speak? You,
Mr. Mel.
Yeah, I'm Mel Bigham. I think I've lived out there for about 28 years. And like John said, I still own probably 3 of the Hunt Minor subdivision lots. So, you know, I was mostly the part of doing all the maintenance, but now the other owners of the properties do help in with the maintenance on the roads. The speed bumps is if you see Amazon and FedEx and everybody come through there, and we put up signs, you have to slow them down. They'll run 40 mile an hour. So the speed bumps, as you've seen, are about that tall. They're small, but we try to slow them down, and we do have speed bumps posted on that road because it is private. And the land, where Curtis has land, part of the easement, half of that easement is part of the 2.1 that I'm selling him. So he already has part of that easement, which is that. So the same path that he's getting to his house is the same path that he's gonna get to the pole barn on the 2.1. Any questions?
Any other questions for Mr. Bingham? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Curtis, would you like to speak?
Yep, Aaron Curtis. The only thing I wanted to reiterate was, yeah, just to your point as well, there was a small easement that was put in that got granted access a couple years back. And that easement, oddly enough, the only part, or that whole easement only goes through this 2 acres that we're talking about anyway. So the only road that's there will become part of mine anyway. So all we're doing is, just trying to add a little bit more to mine and take off a little bit of his, so that way I have a little bit of area that I've wanted in that property line. So
Okay.
that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Curtis? All right, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
We have no one in opposition. Ms. Larson, would you like to add anything, or you're good? Okay. Ms. Parker, anything to add? Okay. That will close the public portion of the hearing. Floor, it's open for discussion and/or a motion.
I move that we approve petition RP-23-08.
Second. Seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. To our next item, a public hearing for vacate replat RP 2309. Holloway Engineering, on behalf of David E. Smith and others, is seeking to vacate and replat lots 3, 4, and 5 in Maple Turn Meadows. The property is located at 1021, 1035, 1045 East Vandermeulen Court. Is that right? In Washington Township. The property is zoned ag. Mr. Larson?
This petition is on behalf of David and Christina Smith, as well as John and Zach, his son. The Smith family has purchased all of the lots in the Maple Turn Meadows subdivision. This subdivision was platted back in 1997, and we did it in our office, and frankly, it was probably a little bit over-ambitious in the number of lots. There really are 5 or 6 beautiful building sites on the property. It did get divided into 9, and I think mainly we're here tonight to kind of correct some of those original mistakes, if you will. David Smith is the owner of lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And John and Christina and Zach own the remaining properties. John lives on lot 9. That's the one you see, the home one, on the far east side. His son Zach is going to build on the lot just west of him. And this first petition that we're here for is for lots 3, 4, and 5. David is going to build on that group of 3 lots, somewhat right in the middle of it. So he's here to remove those lot lines and replat 3, 4, and 5 into what we are going to call Lot 3 Revised. And that lot is 3.1 acres in size. is serviced with rural water and also has had a soil test, and David, I'm not sure he's going to build immediately on it, but next spring, he'll be breaking ground on his home. So that is our first petition tonight regarding this property.
John, are these easement number 2, and is that platted easement, or is this a new easement?
Are you aware of the long history at this property? There was a very long-running dispute between, I believe the north adjoiner was, at one time, was possibly a Clark. This area is known as Clark's Hill, and that roadway was historically known as Clark's Highway.
Okay.
It had been, if I remember correctly, it had been just abandoned by lack of use, never officially abandoned. Mr. Cruz ended up in court with the north adjoiner, who was seeking to disallow him from using it for this subdivision. The court did act in the adjoiner's favor, and that's why you see 2 sets of roadways out there now. There's the old stone roadway on the east and running north of the subdivision that this land was platted to. The properties actually go to the middle of that old drive, and yet they were forced to put a new private roadway in.
Okay.
Because through the court, they were not allowed to use that drive, even though they owned half of it. That's all I can tell you. So, yeah, the one you see, the asphalt roadway, is the one that the owners put in well after the original platting and just after the court case.
It just seems like a lot of roads out there.
It is.
Any questions for Mr. Larison? No? All right, thank you. We have no one else signed up? Parker, do you have anything?
Just very quickly, because of this case, that roadway situation came to my attention, so working with the auditor's office to have that reflected accurately, so that they're not blended together. Like they intersect with the concrete.
Bro, stand up like you like to talk. He's next one.
No, he's not signed up at all. Okay.
Nice lady, but wild.
He's wanting to randomly speak. He's not here for any of these cases. He's wanting to talk about something else completely.
Oh, is it about this case? Yeah, we're just about this case right now. That's okay. This is our public portion of the hearing. Open to any discussion or a motion.
Kenny Hill makes motion, we approve RP-23-09 for David E. Smith on the vacate replat.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I know, that's, the paper's all messed up over there. Hi, we're at public hearing for rezone Z 2309. Holloway Engineering, on behalf of David E. Smith and others, is requesting to rezone lot 1 through 9. of Maple Turn Meadows subdivision from Ag to R1. The property is located at the northeast corner of Maple Turn Road and Cardinal Crest in Washington Township. So this is part of the subdivision we just talked about.
It is.
Mr. Larison?
On behalf of all of the same owners, lots 1 through 9, we're asking to rezone the property from Ag to R1. Again, this property was all platted in 1997. At that time, there was no request to rezone the property. I don't remember in 1997, Mr. Peden, what our zoning conditions were. I'll ask Terry if you remember, was that during our dead period zoning or?
I think it was.
Okay. I guess that's why it wasn't rezoned properly at the time, because we had no zoning. So the result of that is that all of the properties, lots 1 through 9, are zoned ag. They do not have sanitary sewer service, so technically, they're all in violation of our current ordinance. And I feel like that would not have come to light nor been a problem unless we came to you with these proposed changes. And because we have come to you with these proposed changes, we were asked to rezone the property so that they would be in compliance with your zoning law. So that is why we're here, to rezone these 9 lots, which after the replat, now it's 6 lots, correct? Okay. And we'd like for them to all be R1 to fit the intent of the plat. It is intended to be a residential subdivision. So that is why we're here.
Any questions for Mr. Larison? No? No? Thank you, John. We have no one else signed up for this. Parker, do you have anything?
This is another cleanup. It'll make it much easier for future development to comply with R1 standards rather than ag.
This closes our public portion of the hearing. Any discussion? I'll open it to discussion and/or a motion.
I move we forward a favorable recommendation for the R1 rezone request Z-23-09.
Do we have a second? Justin seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No, abstain.
Kenny abstains.
Of course, Kenny.
Gotta be difficult. Yeah, I will.
Motion carries. All right, public hearing for minor plat MIP 2314, Holloway Engineering on behalf of Brunel, co-trustee of Margaret Hodges, irreversible trust, is requesting approval of a 6-lot minor plat for residential use. The property is generally located at 6810 North Waverly Road in Harrison Township in Zone Ag. Once again, Mr. Larison.
Thank you.
Just west of
Thank you, sir.
It's called White River, isn't it?
Yes,
It's called White River?
yes.
This is a 6-lot minor plat, 12.7 acres total, so we've got an average of approximately 2.1 acres. However, the lots lot number 6 is 3.3 acres, and lot number 3, where Marguerite Hodges' existing home is 1.3 acres. So we've got a pretty good variation in size, but all of them are, I think, pretty good average country-style home sites. And we feel like we've got a premium subdivision on our hands here. Lots 1 and 2 are a part of what the Hodges girls call the Pine Lot. If you've been by that, there's, it's road pine trees, like a pine tree farm, I believe was the intent at one time, but that they never sold any of the trees, but it's absolutely beautiful. Lot 3, again, is Marguerite's house. We've enlarged that by 80 feet just to create a more suitable lot. I believe the current lot line goes right through the middle of the house. Lots 4 and 5 are really premium overlook type lots overlooking the White River Valley, and we think they'll just be beautiful walkout basement style homes on those 2 lots. And lot 6 is what the girls called the barn lot. They've just finished disassembling an 1800s era barn and moved it. So there's a lot of cleanup work to do on that lot, and then it's just going to be an extraordinary building site. So there are currently 2 driveway cuts on North Waverly Road. One runs across the north end of those pine tree lots, and it will service 3 of the lots. And the other is Marguerite's single driveway, and it will be widened slightly to service 2 lots as well. And we anticipate 1 more road cut for lot number 2 as part of the subdivision.
You don't think they'll use the drive?
You know, Terry, I wouldn't say that it's not gonna happen, but I hope that it doesn't, because we just don't want more traffic. We want for that to, I don't know if you've been on the property, but the existing house is pretty close to that driveway. And I think if we put too much traffic on it, it's gonna hurt the value.
No, I was just curious, because they have plenty of road frontage to get that. So.
Yes. I will tell you that we will be back with additional minor plat, 1 or 2. The best thing about the Hodges property is they own it in about 8 or 10 different properties, as Laura's probably noticed. So we've really only taken 3 lots out of 1 parcel. We divided another parcel in half, and we expanded Mom's house parcel. So we're really nowhere near our limit here in lieu of the number of parent parcels that they own. But much like the earlier gentleman said, that the family has owned this property for probably more than 100 years, and they just don't have any use for the road frontage. They still own the farm. They're gonna own the farm. Not gonna sell it. But meanwhile, they're just mowing a lot of grass. So I'll leave that to you, and if you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Mr. Larson? Nope. Okay, thanks. Parker, you have anything you'd like to add? No? Good? This closes our public portion of the hearing. Any comments? It's open for comments or a motion.
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we approve the minor plat, MIP-23-14. What is actually Hodges Sunset Ridge minor plat.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Mr. Rumball seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
She was an awesome lady, that's for sure. I said Marguerite was an awesome lady, that's for sure.
I didn't get a chance to know her, but I've really enjoyed working with the girls.
Had opinions because on one of the decisions we made, she sued me personally.
Our papers are messed up over here. Sorry, John, our papers are all messed up. We're going, wait a minute. We'll move on to our next item. It's public hearing for rezone to Z 2310. Holloway Engineering on behalf of Catherine Hodges Brunel, co-trustees of the Margaret Hodges Irrevocable Trust, is seeking to rezone 12.7 acres included in the MIP 2314 from Ag to R1. The property is generally located at 6810 North Waverly Road in Harrison Township. Mr. Larison?
And that really is about all there is to it. It's those 6 lots. So we would like to rezone them R1 so that they will meet your ordinance, given their acreages for single-family home development.
Huh? Thanks, John. Add, Ms. Parker? No? Okay, this closes our public portion of the hearing. I will open the floor to discussion or a motion.
Move to approve Z-23-10.
Do we have a second? Mr. Patrick seconds. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ah, Kenny, one abstention. He has to be different. Do you have anything you'd like to talk to us about tonight? Ms. Parker? Okay. All right, sir, would you like to step to the mic?
Some of you are aware.
You need to come up to the mic so it's recorded.
My name is Michael Persifield. Some of you are aware of who I am and the situation that brings me here tonight. Basically, I feel that I have been wronged purposefully and persecuted by Laura Parker. I had installed a light on my barn. I had a neighbor who was found in court to steal property from me and then tried to assault me when I went to get my property that I saw as I drive right past his house. It was property that belonged to my wife's dead father, which in turn is his brother. Kind of a mess. But anyway, I don't take too much of your time here. I have a few photos in here, but most of my evidence is electronic in nature, as it's transcripts from court and a very large document. I purchased this light from Walmart originally, and it's supposed to have a piece that comes over the top here that you can bolt on to keep the light from not falling down. So since it was broken, I put some holes in the back of it here, and I shined it out as my property has a very long drive in front of it, and I drive through a creek to get to the main lane that takes us out of my home. It was a 10,000 lumen light, which it is bright. My neighbor didn't like it. He filed a complaint against me. My neighbor did is he sent his wife to the Plan Commission. She cried to Miss Parker about my light and gave her some photos. I can show you guys, this is.
Do what?
Kind of prepared something here, if I could just kind of read, and I think it'll kind of cut to the chase a little bit here.
The court,
No, it was decided against me here.
so.
But it's
so-
being appealed. It's in an appellate level. I appealed the decision.
So we shouldn't be discussing if there's a chance for further litigation.
Okay,
This could harm your case.
okay. Well,
and-
then I'll just,
Yeah,
I
you-
guess, keep it very short in the fact that under oath, Ms. Parker testified that she did not inspect my real property, look at my light, and leave a violation on the real property as her job describes.
I wouldn't recommend saying anything else because this could affect your case for your appellate. So it's really still under litigation if you're appealing it.
Well, I guess I'm just here to ask for some type of investigation on the protocol that wasn't followed with my case.
In writing and get it to us.
Well, I was told that everything that I need to get to you guys, I need to send to Ms. Parker. And I actually came here once before to speak to you guys. And as I came and approached, Ms. Parker told me that I needed to email her for her permission to come here and speak. Given the circumstances, I believed it was a waste of my time.
If you would put it in writing and get it to, I just don't want you to harm your case in court, which just could if you testify in front of us.
I didn't know I was testifying, but okay.
You're stating some facts and that, and
Yes, sir.
I think you need to understand what, it could harm your case.
Okay, I was just hoping I wouldn't have to speak to an attorney. To be honest, like, I don't know. I really don't feel like it hurt my case.
If you would like for the board to investigate it, get us in writing that you would like to have it investigated.
And who would I need to send that to?
Planning Commission, and it'll be handed out to the board members.
So I email that to Ms. Parker?
She'll have to give it to us. It's her job.
Well, I understand, but I have evidence that she did not do the job she was supposed to do before.
Well,
That was why I came here.
put it in writing that you'd like for us to investigate, and we'll take it up, okay?
Is there any way that I could, in the future, deal with somebody who is not Ms. Parker? I know that it's her job to delegate who takes on what cases, but I feel that there's a grudge. I actually had to call the police to have her finish a conversation with me. I feel that is.
I am the president of the board. You can bring it to my surveyor's office in the basement.
Surveyor's office?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm the president of the board, so bring it to me, straight to me.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Brock.
Anything else that needs to be brought in front of the board tonight? If not, our next meeting is the 8th of January. Already at 2024. I will call for a motion.
Move to adjourn?
Who was my second?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
There you go. I'm taking the Three Musketeers and the